Hello. Hi. My name's Pax. I'm the student body president. I was talking to Radhika just before this, and we were remarking that we didn't know if this was more about Audrey or more about the college. So it's sort of like a wedding in that way. And I think that that really brings out the kind of ceremony that we're looking for in today. To speak a little bit about the college and then a little bit about Audrey, I think that in the nation abroad, and particularly at Reed, we're sort of at a war with nuance. We seem to have problem with how hard it can get to delve into the specifics, to relate to one another closely. And I think that being able to tell a story, the sort of kind that you can curl up next to while a fire warms you, the kind that makes you glad that you were where you were when you heard it, I think that's the kind of thing that Reed needs right now. And for a long time, I think the story about Reed, the story that we told ourselves about the institution and that other people told about us, was one that was sort of political and doused in a kind of nonsense. And one of the most delightful experiences that I've ever had in the world is finding an author that I really adore, the kind that you can't, and I really can't imagine finding one that I adore so much that I dedicate my entire life's work to it, to understanding them, to understanding the stories they tell, how they tell them, where they were when they told them. But that's exactly what Audrey did in Jane Austen. And I think that's kind of what Reed needs right now. Not someone to take the college in their throats and to speak for the college, but someone who can study the stories that we've told ourselves and understand them. A lot of the things that have happened in the past year and the past couple of years have been hard. We're coming out of a hard time right now. But I think that what matters more, I think the harms that have been done and that continue to be done are important. And I think it's important that we recognize them. But what I think matters most, the reason that I keep doing this work, the reason I keep showing up, is because it matters what's next. The students that we bring to Reed who don't know what Reed is right now, who don't even know what a conference is. Because in a couple of years, they'll be sitting next to the foremost expert in their field of something that they didn't know existed. I didn't know what anthropology was before I came to college, but getting to take courses and things like that, discovering that like neuroscience is a discipline and that you can study it and get really good at it, I think that's the important thing. Keeping the students that aren't here now, that aren't here in 5 years, but are here in 10 years, when Audrey's the president that she'll become, the president that she is after we make our remarks. I think that this comes at an odd time, celebrating someone before we really know what they'll do. But I think that celebrating celebrating Audrey now, I think, makes sense. It's a sort of hopefulness that we have. So I do have a lot of hope, because I think that Audrey knows what it's like to be down there, all the way down where you feel like you can't possibly climb up. And I hope that at least one student sees themselves in her and is able to climb out of that place with the help of these professors and these staff and faculty members and the help of their fellow students. Being around you all right now, this group on the Great Lawn, Reedies, I think that there's no place in the world I'd really ever rather be. So thank you all for gracing me with your presence, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.